Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Hello, today it's something special. It is brand new because, first of all, let me thank you. I must say really thank you to my team. It's a great team, and they always astonish me. Sometimes they astonish me, and I prefer that they better not astonish me. But most of the time, they come with good ideas. And today they came with an idea to ask me a question. And recently I said, okay, why? You can ask me a question anytime. And the thing is that they said, no, I don't want to ask you a question just like that. We want to do it in front of the camera, and you should answer in front of this camera. I said, why? And yeah, we can use it. We can publish it, and perhaps it's interesting for the audience. And I hope that you are curious a little bit and are also interested in the questions and in the answers. So let's see what is more surprising, the question or the answer. And yeah, these are 6 questions, 6 quick questions, and the best is let's start immediately with the questions. And I don't know the questions. They just give it on my monitor, and then I have to answer on it. So that makes it more interesting. I said no, don't show it to me before. Then I start thinking that's not good. Okay, question number 1. Since you've been traveling a lot, which country in your experience has the best culture, best stay, and best food? Very great question. But you know, it makes it already very difficult, because here in the Philippines, where I'm recording it right now, of course they expect that I say, hey, the Philippines are the best country in the world and we have the best food. When I was in Malaysia, they said, hey, the best food in Asia, that is in Malaysia, right? Ah, yes. And wherever you go, they say, we have the best food, and it's a little bit difficult. But the question was, which country, best culture, best stay, best food. Let me think about it. I had a very good time when, at the end of my studies, I studied at the Technical University in Berlin, process engineering, and then I had the great opportunity to go to France for 1 year and do the Europe studies. I was one of 2 first students who did that, and I stayed 1 year in France. I did not go back to Germany, and I must really say I loved it. I love the culture, the way how the French do these things. They are also very successful, but in another way compared to the Germans. And the way to live there, I liked it. And I really liked the food. But at this time I was student, I was not able to pay this expensive food. But I liked the variety. And until now, France for me is a real highlight. Whereas, of course, in Asia, you have a lot of nice food. But I want to be honest, that is France. The best country, that is difficult to say, you know. What does it mean? Does it include education, healthcare, traffic, social security? That is difficult to say. I think amongst the best countries is perhaps Switzerland. That is one very good country also to stay. So at Lake Geneva or Zurich Lake, That would be nice. Is that okay as an answer? Okay, let's move to the second. Let's move to the next question. I'm curious. Hey Doc, with your busy schedule, do you still find time to entertain yourself outside work? Who did this? Okay, that's one thing. We don't tell who was asking the questions, but that is a very, very good question. Yeah, it's very busy, and especially after the pandemic. But during the pandemic, we were not lazy at all. We did a lot of work for our digitalization and the strategies to improve the service for our customers in flood protection. But yeah, I must really think about that. To entertain myself, from time to time I grab the guitar, but my son is playing a better guitar than I do in the meantime, and I really have to train my fingers. But yes, I enjoy evenings with friends or business partners in a relaxed atmosphere. And even when we talk about business, because, for me, business is, it's not really business. It's a little bit like a hobby. I really want to help the people. And I always say 95% of the buildings can be flood protected. And then I see all the buildings that are not flood protected. And that makes me a little bit sad, and it challenges me. And that is giving me a thrill. And while I'm recording this podcast, I'm on the way to Qatar, and I'm looking forward to meeting my Qatari friends, and then we will have a nice dinner and sit together. And that is my free time, and that entertains me very well. Yeah. Next question. Why do you consider yourself a flood expert? Another brilliant question. Flood expertise or flood technology, flood protection technology, now that might surprise you, is not a rocket science. However, we have realized you need to have a lot of skills to really understand it. And what is really helpful is my engineering background, and that I spent so much time in education. So when I was at university at the Institute for Chemical Engineering, at the fabulous Professor Dr. H.C. Mult, Dr. Engineer Heinz Brauer, that was the one and only in process engineering. I learned all these skills, and he was a tough guy. We had to wear ties at this time at the university. Only 2 departments were doing that, and so everybody knew from which department we came. And I was proud that I'm one of them. At the beginning, I did not want to wear the ties. You just graduated, and then you have to wear a tie. Anyway, there is where I learned all these skills, and that you have to be very. Here in the Philippines, they say meticuloso, very detailed and precise. And that is what is important to work in the flood protection business, because if we are not precise, who else will be? Because, I always tell to our customers, we don't gamble, we don't play with our customer safety. If you want to play, if you want to gamble, go to the casino. We don't do that. And so it's a precision, why I consider myself a flood expert. But of course, I learned about the things over the years and the years and the years. And yes, I'm not a civil engineer, I'm a process engineer, but the process engineer has one advantage, because we think in processes and in logical chains. And that I think I know how to do very well. And I can compose the things and can understand a situation and find the right solution for the customers. And yes, perhaps one short story, but I know that is for another time. I think because the people wait already, they give me signal to hurry up a little bit, because there are 3 more questions. Is that okay? Okay, next question. Come on, show it to me. What's the silly thing you've caught yourself doing? The silly thing. Oh my gosh. The silly thing. Sometimes that is really, I must really think about that. The silly thing. I remember one time I was doing windsurfing, and that was at Tenerife. Is it Tenerife or Tenerife? One of these islands there at belonging to Spain. And I went there for windsurfing because it's a windsurf spot in El Médano. El Médano, it's in the south of Tenerife. And there was heavy wind, and I went outside. The waves were higher than the mast, the mast or the post. It's a post. And it was pretty good. And then suddenly I was falling down, and I was already not having my full power, my full energy. And then I was falling down, and the waves were pushing me towards the rocks. At the left side from the seawater, when you watch the beach, so you want to go back to the beach, and the left side there were rocks, some kind of mountains. And these rocks are of course very dangerous when you are floating in the water with your equipment. And so they came nearer and nearer, and I was in the water and I could not get up because I was so tired already. So you are laying in the water, you're doing like that, and then the wind will lift you up, the sail will lift you up if you have the right position with your feet and the right position towards the wind. And so I had a hard time, and I saw the rocks coming nearer and nearer, and really the last minute I made it. If not, I would not sit here, to be honest. And that was a moment where I said to myself, Andreas, that was really stupid what you did, because you played with your life at this time. I should have stopped doing windsurfing this day because I was tired already. So that was really silly. Whether it was the most silly thing, that I don't know, but that was definitely very extreme. Okay, next question. What are 3 books you'd recommend and why? That is a very good question. I have one book that is one of my favorites at the moment. I'm currently reading several books. One book is from Russell Brunson that is Expert Secrets. I really can recommend it, and if you can, buy it in the English original version for all my German followers or people in other languages. The German version is really good. It tells you about how you transfer your expertise into a funnel-related business. And that is really great because it gives so many tables and checklists and indications. So definitely that is a recommendation. The other one, top 3, is David and Goliath from Malcolm Gladwell. From Malcolm Gladwell. And number 3 is, I always have to think about that, Yuval Noah Harari. Yuval Noah Harari, and that is Homo Deus. That is, please read it, and if possible, buy it in your original. Buy it in the original and read it in the original language. Okay, have fun. I really enjoy these books. Next question. Come on. Of all colors available in the color wheel, why orange? Guys, that is by coincidence that I'm wearing this orange t-shirt because I proceed to the airport in the moment, and that is very comfortable. Of course, I have another shirt and a pullover, and just to be prepared. Yeah, why orange? I'm not a Dutch. Very often when I meet people here in Asia, they ask, are you from the Netherlands? I said, no. In Germany, they would say, are you a garbage man? Because the garbage men in Germany wear orange clothes. No, none of it. Yeah, orange was when I became self-employed in 2007, 2008. I was choosing orange because I always liked this color. And orange gray, that was a combination I used for my consultation business in Germany at this time. And I stayed with orange. I like it, and it makes it very easy because before... I remember, and I still have them all these ties. I have, I don't know, 50 different ties in all colors, and that is so difficult because you must have the right shirt for it, then the right tie, and then the jacket, and then it doesn't fit. And I said, hey, I don't want that anymore. Stay with orange. It is a good contrast, and it gives a little bit color when you go to events. I certainly remember the last event in one of these 5-star hotels here in Asia, or Germany. It's the same. France, Switzerland, Austria. The men always come in gray, perhaps dark blue, black, always the same. White shirt, blue shirt. That's it. I said no. I want to be the color man. And that gives a smile, brings a smile on the face of the people. The photographers like it. I like it. I feel comfortable. And in the meantime, I wear orange socks as well. That, you know, it's very easy in the morning when you wake up and your eyes are a little bit closed, and then you're still sleepy. Before I had a hard time to select socks between black and blue. When the light is not good, you cannot distinguish them well. And now I have no problem. They're all orange, always the same brand, and I grab it and that's it. It fits always. Yeah. Hey, we are done. I see no more questions. These were the 6 questions my staff was selecting, and I told you the answers, the questions or the answers, both can be surprising. I don't know whether you liked it. Give me a comment, perhaps, whether you like it or not. For me, it's a lot of fun to answer to these questions, and I want to say thank you to my fabulous staff and for these great questions. And perhaps you also have some questions, and just post it below and comment it, and I would be glad to include it in one of the next sessions. I look forward to having the next session, a recording like that. Yeah, if you liked it, follow this channel and subscribe that you don't miss the next episode. It is not always like that. Of course, we will also talk about serious topics when it comes to flood protection secrets. So, nothing else to say then. Thank you. Stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering. German quality. Safe. Flood protection secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.